Okay, so your pieces will probably have stuff, some glue inside those tubes that we're going to need to clear out. There's a drill with this bit. It's got this end, and it's just got like one little turn, and it's mostly smooth. Very unusual looking end to a drill. It's not a real bit at all. But what it does is it will clear out all the glue in those. So. Lathe. These are mini lathes, L-A-T-H-E. Don't lose these parts. These parts are important. Very careful. You should have one spacer, then your first piece, then a spacer, then your second piece, and then 1 to 2 spacers depending on which one you're using. So you want enough room so you got a threaded end that you can pretty much tighten down after your work is on there. So then you got to really tighten this down, really tight. Probably have me do this, because if it's loose, these will spin and you won't cut. Okay, and we got to bring the tailstock in and secure that. And we got to tighten that a little bit. Again, this is all stuff I'll do for you. Adjust this tool rest to the correct height. We want to spin and make sure nothing is hitting the tool rest before we turn the machine on. Obviously, so we're turning it, seeing that nothing's hitting. Okay. So this is a gouge, G-O-U-G-E, and this is the sharp end. Don't put this end. This is the rounded end. I don't know. I see kids trying to cut with that end. You're supposed to cut like this, sharp end, basically facing up. Okay, to cut, if you just like hold like this, you're going to be jumping all over the place, and you're going to cut and break and mess things up. I put my hand down and I put my thumb there, and that thumb will adjust how far in or out I allow that tool to go. And then I go around, and then I let it go a little deeper and go back and forth, etc. So it's just something you got to learn. So cut slow. Cutting too fast will break the wood. Okay, once you get it thin and you're ready to start straightening it, there's a different tool we use. This tool has a nice stray edge, and it gives us a nice straight pen body. Okay, when you get it thin enough and straight enough, then the next part is sanding. So it should be 4 parts to sanding. You're going to start with the lowest number and work your way up. So 400 is the smoothest we have. That's the last one I use. This 120 or 220, and then this is 120, and then we should have some 80. You can see the numbers, like this says P80, and then that says, this is P80, this says P400. higher number, smoother sandpaper, lower number, rougher. So start with the rough stuff and go to the fine stuff. So this is really great. You just hold a piece of sandpaper and it sands for you. Okay, that's 80. And I'm going to go to 120. And I'm going to go to the 220. Pretty darn fine stuff. And lastly, 400. So there should be cans of paste wax, and it's kind of, you gotta pry the edges open, kind of like a paint can. You can use one of these that we use to open up the paint cans to open up this can. And you just take a paper towel and you smear a little bit of this wax on the paper towel. You don't need much because you don't have a very big surface. And you turn this on and you wipe the wax on there. And you can see how nice that finished piece looks. Nice and shiny and perfect. And I will now go to the second piece and go through the same process of cutting, straightening, sanding, waxing. So it's just a repetitive process of the same thing. So once you're done with everything, you're going to loosen that, turn that back. Do not lose any of these parts. So we got to loosen this piece, take our spacers, and we got our one piece and our other spacer.
Can I use the net? Can I use the tape?
Sure. And we're going to put all our spacers back on.
Are you guys going to do cycles next year?
All right, and then that's taking the piece off.